Hey everyone, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd go through some of the books that I have on my Audible account that I haven't gotten around to reading yet, but they all sound really good and I'm really excited to get to them. So the first one being Bad Mommy by Tarryn Fisher. Now this is like a dark contemporary thriller about obsession. So there's not much of a premise to this book on Goodreads, but from what I gather, it's about this girl called Fig who decides to buy this house in this neighbourhood, not because she likes the house particularly or is fond of the neighbourhood, but she likes what is living next door, the husband, his kids, their life. A life that isn't hers and belongs to someone else. So I know that sounds very basic, but I mean, it sounds right up my street. And on Goodreads, it's got like over 12,000 reviews and the average rating is 4 out of 5 stars. So I think it's going to be 5-star read for me. The next book is called, or the cover of this book freaks me the F out. You'll Never Know Dear by Hallie, Ephron. Don't really know how to pronounce that, but this is kind of like a psychological suspense / horror. I can see why it's a horror by that cover. This is a book about 3 generations of women all haunted by one little girl's disappearance. Basically, these 2 little girls are playing on their front lawn one day with their little porcelain dolls, and then this puppy runs past them and one of the girls like runs away to go like pet the dog, and when she returns, her little sister has just disappeared, gone, vanished into thin air with the doll. And for some reason, I don't really get this part about the premise, but it's like a one-of-a-kind doll. So they put out, I'm sure they put out a reward for information about the daughter too, I hope, but they have this ad out for years asking for any information for this doll. And then one day, out of the blue, the doll comes back, like many years later. And it is the first clue of whatever happened to this little girl. So, dolls, books about dolls in general. Ugh. I'm looking forward to it. Then we've got The Whisper Man by Alex North, which is a book that I have heard a lot about. It definitely did its rounds on Books Tbr a while ago. I don't know why I put it off for so long because it sounds right up my street. I think I've just been getting a bit hesitant about investing my time into books that are so hyped up because very often I just don't really understand the hype. So this is like a suspense thriller about a father and son relationship. The dad's wife has a sudden death, so they decide to have this new start in a new town, new house, just completely start over in life. But this town that they move to seems to have some very dark, gritty secrets. About 20 years ago, this serial killer abducted and murdered 5 of the residents. He was dubbed the Whisper Man, and eventually he was caught and put into prison. So when this father and son move to this little town, a little boy disappears, and the main boy in this book starts hearing whispering at his window, and that's how the serial killer kind of lured his victims to their inevitable death. Then a little bit of a different one, we've got The Pisces by Broder. Now this is a fantasy, magical realism kind of book, although from the premise you wouldn't really think so. The premise of this book, I think I might actually start this one today. This is the story about a girl called Lucy who hits rock bottom after a horrible breakup. I think in like a way to kind of help her out and get her to focus on something and also kind of give herself some self-love, her sister is like, oh, can you please come and house sit for me? And what we know about Lucy is that she's really addicted to like group therapy sessions and swiping left and right on Tinder and going on Tinder dates. Tinder sucks. And then like amidst all this kind of stuff happening, she's sitting on the rocks overlooking the ocean one day and she sees this swimmer, this man in water, and she just becomes absolutely enamored by him. And I believe that the message in this book is that love can save you, but it can also kill you. And I think that maybe this man is a bit of a merman, I don't know, but it sounds kind of cool. So I think I might give that one a go today. I haven't, you know what, like actually, I haven't been reading that many thrillers lately. I've really been dipping my toes into more like contemporary romances. Let's just chuck in some magical realism. Right, the last book I'm going to talk to you about is actually the second book in the series, and that is The Problem Child by Victoria Helen Stone. This series is about Jane Doe. The first book is fantastic. Go and get a copy of it now. So Jane Doe had this like brutal childhood. her whole life she's just kind of been wired to look after herself and only herself, no one else at all. She is a sociopath, okay? We would know this if we'd read book 1, so got to read book 1 first. But yes, sociopath. However, in book 2, she now has a job and a lover. And then her 16-year-old niece goes missing in this book, and at first she doesn't really care, doesn't really seem like anyone really cares, but then like she kind of looks at a picture, I think, of her niece, and she realizes that she can see a lot of herself in her niece, and by that I mean she can tell that her niece is a sociopath. She can see in her eyes what this girl is capable of, and she is the only one that can help her. The thing I don't like about investing my time into series is that I don't know when I read Jane Doe book 1. It was a bloody long time ago, like we're talking years ago. So it is going to take me a little bit of time to refresh my memory. I'm going to have to read my review of Jane Doe book 1, I think, and try and piece together information. But I have no doubt, because I'm very sure it was like a 5-star read for me, I have no doubt that it will be a very, very good book. Books about sociopaths, bloody love them. Anyway, they are some of the books currently on my Audible account. Let me know what you have lined up on your Audible account, if you even use audio. I know that a lot of you kind of think it's cheating, but you know what, I would not read as many books as I do if it wasn't for Audible. I think I'm on book 38 for the year so far, so ta-da, there you go. Right, I've got to get to work, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.